بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to welcome you to my new channel, Marina Ali Mouleed's channel. In this space, inshallah ta'ala, the idea is to open a discussion for those who are hungry, for those who feel, who know that there is somebody bigger, somebody better inside of them, living inside of them, and they want to break through and reach their potential, inshallah ta'ala. After all, in this dunya, we are here to find our way back home, right? Back to Jannah, inshallah ta'ala. I would like to invite you to this space and enjoy it with me, learn with me, grow with me, inshallah ta'ala. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Marina Ali Mouleed, and I am a mindset coach and a business strategist mentor. I am the founder of Taib Lifestyle, and I run communities, one that is called Fear to Fears community, the Ultimate Business Mindset Accelerator community. So in those communities, what we do is that we grow together as ummah, inshallah ta'ala. I've created them so that we can learn from one another, we can empower each other, we can hold each other accountable, we can support each other, because in entrepreneurial world, unfortunately, it's not one that a lot of people understand. And when you have that feeling, when you're on that journey, you don't find a lot of people, even within your family, within your communities, that understand where you're coming from, why you have this feeling of, I want to make an impact, I want to change, I wanna help the community, I want to help people. Why do you want to do that, right? When you can just go to work, when you can go to university and study. But that's not what we're all about, right? Because we have a mission. Inside of us, there's a fire, and we want to let that fire spark as big as possible, inshallah. So welcome. Today specifically, we're going to be talking about a subject that is very close to my heart: self-awareness. Now, what is self-awareness? I believe that sometimes we misunderstand what is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to notice what is going on inside of you in that very moment, so that you can make the right decision. So self-awareness, so the things that you become aware, are 4 things that we're going to be focusing today, inshallah. Your thoughts. So what are the thoughts that you're having in that moment, right? And the emotions that is igniting inside of you. So is that maybe emotions such as sadness, happiness, disappointment, whatever that emotion, anger, whatever that emotion is, and where does it show up in your body as well? And also patterns. What are the patterns that that specific thought is showing up on a regular basis? At the same time, reaction. How are you reacting to these thoughts? Maybe it's a reaction of where you are suppressing the situation, and you're like, I don't really want to deal with that right now, and you get yourself distracted. And that's why we have an ummah that their whole mission is just to distract themselves, distract yourself from whatever that you're feeling. So you are maybe binge watching Netflix or YouTube videos, or maybe that you are scrolling up and down social media to distract yourself from that thought that you are having. Or it could be that you are associating, when you have that thought, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, you are actually identifying with it and saying, yeah, that is me, I am useless, I am so you are now creating limiting belief, and then you will accept that as your own identity. And then there's the third one, which is overthinking. When you overthink about things like, is this going to happen? Is this even possible for me? And unfortunately, self-doubt starts to set in, and it will cause you indecision. That's where people get stuck, subhanallah. So here's the thing. Most people think that they are self-aware, but unfortunately, what's happening is that they're self-critic, that you are criticizing yourself all the time. Like, is this, this is not me. This is what I should be doing better. This is what I should be doing. That is not self-awareness. I want you to imagine coming into a room that is dark. The light is switched off and you switch it on. That is self-awareness. Because when you switch that light on, now you can see all the rotten furnitures, that the old broken furnitures that need to be thrown away. Now you can see what needs to be thrown out, what needs to stay, and so on. Now that is self-awareness. So what happens when you become aware? So you don't change the furniture straight away. The most important thing is that now you see it. You become aware of these. The furniture, the broken furniture, the rotten ones, the old ones, the things that need to be changed, right? But you don't change anything. Seeing it is very powerful. Becoming aware of it is very powerful, subhanallah. So why is awareness important? If we're not aware of things that are happening inside of us, then it's very difficult to change anything, right? Like I said at the beginning, when most people, if you ask them, are you self-aware? Without a shadow of a doubt and with such confidence, they will tell you, yes, absolutely, I'm very aware. However, if you ask them what is the most repeated thought that you have on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, they will not be able to tell you this, because the very truth is that we are not aware. Unless you are practicing awareness and you put a specific time in place for awareness, you are not going to be aware of the thoughts that are constantly repeating in your mind. And you can't grow or change what you're not aware of. And also, I believe awareness precedes choice. You have to first, before you even decide to work on something, to decide to change something, you must become aware of them first. And also, you can't control your emotions, but you can control becoming aware of these emotions and also the triggers that you are having on a regular basis. So what are the thoughts that you're having and what emotions are they setting inside of you? And what is the trigger that is igniting or that is surfacing this particular thought and then causing you to take action, right? SubhanAllah. So let's have a look at the things that is important. Number one is that when you are aware of your thoughts, it helps you become aware of unwanted emotions, number one. Number two, also your unwanted triggers. Yeah. So what happens when you become aware of these triggers? Now, because you're aware of them, you stay away of these triggers. Yeah, you try to avoid, you try to maybe deal with it. What is the root cause of these triggers? Because now you are aware of these triggers. And also it improves your relationships with others, because once you are aware of you, because a lot of times we think that it's everybody, people are causing us these triggers, it's people. So we put the blame or the responsibility on others, where honestly the responsibility is on us. We're supposed to be working on ourselves so that we can show up better. So when we meet those people that are pushing our buttons, you're already aware of the triggers. So you, inside of you, before you make a decision, you say, no, what choice am I making right now? So this is why it's important to practice awareness. And also building, this builds your confidence. When you are aware of your thoughts, your triggers, your emotions, it's very difficult for people to come to you and, push these buttons. And that builds your confidence, subhanAllah. And it makes you making decisions a lot easier. I want you to imagine a time where you've overreacted and caused chaos because of the overreaction and also the damage that it's causing you. Imagine when you noticed that this feeling is fostering, right? When you notice that, if you paused and asked yourself, what choice am I making right now? That is so very powerful. And also something that is very important that I want to share with you and I want you to remember always is that you are not your thoughts. You are the one that is watching. your thought. Let me give you some things that you can do to practice. A practice is some exercises that you can do that will help you become aware, that will help you practice the self-awareness, inshallah ta'ala. The first one that I would like to give you is the name it and tame it, right? In this exercise, what you will do is that whenever you have a thought, you name it. This is anger, this is excitement, this is joy. Because what that will do is that it will help you, now you're distancing yourself away from the thought. So you are not saying, I am feeling, this is me feeling like this. You are distancing yourself from the thought. So you are saying, this is anger, that I'm feeling, that this is anger. So you're distancing yourself from the thought. That you're naming it. You're saying, this is anger, and this is excitement, or this is joy. Emotion itself, you are distancing yourself away from that feeling that you're having, right? Because you remember, you are not the thought, you are not that feeling, you are the one observing and then making that decision. And what that will do, why it works, is that it activates your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is the thinking, the logical brain. And what that does is that it reduces, or it calms the emotional part of the brain. Then you can make the decision, that choice that you wanted to make. And hopefully will help you make the right choice, the right decision, inshallah ta'ala, rather than reacting with emotion. Another one that I would like to give you is the micro journaling. This is where you journal your thoughts on a regular basis. I would suggest that maybe you set an alarm for yourself, morning, noon, and evening. You set the alarms, and as soon as it goes off, you sit down and you set specific time for this, because then you keep showing up. That's a commitment. You're making a commitment to get to know yourself, to get to know the thoughts, what's happening inside of you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَا يُغَيِّرُ بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said He will not change the condition of a people until they change what's inside of them. So now when you sit down and you're making an effort, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you, inshallah. Get your diary out and you're going to journal. The first question that you're going to ask yourself is that, what did I feel? What were the feelings that I was having in that moment? And also, what were the triggers? What triggered me for me to feel like this? Maybe you're driving in the morning to, you're doing your school runs. Maybe you're going to work and someone does something, and then you had a thought before you even reacted. There was a thought. You noticed that thought. You write it down. What was that? What was that thought? What also triggered that thought? And what did I learn from myself when I was acting? When I was reacting? What did I learn in that moment? What could I have done? What choice could I have made? Inshallah, guys, I want to ask you, if you have enjoyed our discussion today, subscribe to this channel, because I would be talking about everything about thoughts. What is going on inside of us? What are the things that are holding us back? Why do we procrastinate? What causes us to overthink and so on? Basically, everything you need to know about how you can become the best version of yourself. I look forward to seeing you again in our next video, inshallah ta'ala.